I'm Jack Costigan. I graduated from Middletown North in 2020, and I'm pumped to be back here, kind of spreading the word about my school. Alright, so what is the Naval Academy? We're really combining two things in one. The first one, here on the left, we're a four-year college, so you're going to be taking normal classes like you would at any other school. And our academics are pretty tough. We're a really STEM-oriented school, so that's science, technology, engineering, and math. Math is obviously a great place to kind of get that foundation. So yeah, we have lots of academics going on, but in addition we have military training as well. So what that entails is parades sometimes. We'll have formation before breakfast and lunch, and we'll do inspections during that time for our uniforms and for our rooms as well. And then combining those two, the whole mission of the Naval Academy is to produce military officers in the Navy and Marine Corps. So that's us. Alright, so kind of diving into the makeup of the brigade. Like I said before, there's about 1,100 every year that get in, so that's 4,400 mids total. And we're split up into 30 different companies. I'm personally in 17th Company. Our mascot is the Reapers. Every company has a different mascot, which is pretty cool. And yeah, these companies kind of serve as a group of people you get to build relationships with throughout your 4 years at the academy. And it's a great outlet to kind of meet new people, find people that are interested in the same things as you, and really just develop that close group of friends. So as you can see up here, everyone, all 4,400 of us live in the same hall, which is Bancroft. It's the largest dormitory in the world, over 5 miles of hallways inside. At times it can be a little bit overwhelming, but it honestly is very nice to be able to just walk right down the hall to see pretty much whoever you want. So that's a great thing I love about the academy. So this is kind of a saying we have at the Naval Academy. Your time split it up into 3/3. First big hurdle is plebe summer. I'll kind of dive into it in a later slide. That's like your basic training, what you think of boot camp. And then after you finish plebe summer, you'll go into plebe year. It's a little bit more relaxed than the summer was, but it's still very heavy on the training. You have limited privileges in what you get to do as a plebe. And then after you get through plebe year, it's kind of all the rest. At least for me, the past 2.5 years have flown by after completing plebe year. And yeah, it's great. So diving into plebe summer, like I said, this is the basic training phase. For kids coming out of high school, this will be about a couple weeks after you graduate. And your I-Day, induction day, is going to be on one of the first days of July. You kind of just get thrown right to the wolves, if I'm being honest. It's kind of overwhelming, especially if you've never experienced something like that before. But it starts out with a bang, and it kind of continues with that bang throughout the whole summer. What you're going to focus on during plebe summer is physical fitness. As you can see in the picture down here, that's from a morning workout that occurs pretty much every day. Leadership and professionalism, which is just taking charge within your own company, leading your classmates that you just met. And then military bearing as well. I actually have a little video I could show. Video is just basically pretty much every morning what the plebes get to experience when they wake up.
The plebes learn a completely new way of life centered on Bancroft Hall.
Lots of screaming. So yeah, that's your wake up every day during plebe summer.
I'm picturing my daughter in that situation.
Yeah, like I said, it was a lot of overwhelming things happening at once during plebe summer. But honestly, looking back, it was a good time. I personally only really remember the good parts, some bad parts, but like I said, it's really all worth it. The bonds that you get to form with your company mates are going to last a lifetime. So, good time. Alright, so moving into plebe year. Just finished plebe summer and you think it's going to be easy? Well, you think you're wrong. So this is known as the training year. Like I said, continuation of plebe summer to some extent, a little bit more relaxed, but really the foot's still on the pedal. You're going to be doing early morning workouts pretty much every morning, 6 days a week, starting at 5:30. And in addition to your regular college classes, you're going to be having additional weekly professional knowledge assessments on things going around the world, in addition to like weapons platforms, different ships in the Navy. So that's an extra course load you have. And like I said, limited privileges as well. All the plebes have to call me as an upperclass sir, all the ladies ma'am. When you're in the hallways, you need to chop, which is pretty much doing high knees down the hallway. You just square your corners and scream when you do so. And then the big thing for a lot of people is this bullet right here. During the week, you can't watch TV, really be on your phone, listen to music, or any of that. Like I said, it's very, very hard. Plebe year is very long and seems like it's never going to end. But really, it is going to end one day and it's all going to be worth it. But speaking of the end of plebe year, I'm not sure if you've heard of this, ma'am, but so this is a tradition for the ending of plebe year. This statue right here is called Herndon. It's in the middle of our campus. It's about 25 feet tall. And the way your plebe class ends their plebe year is by getting a cover, as pictured here, to sit right on top of the monument. So before the climb starts, all the upper class will go out and cover this thing in grease, spray it down with water, really just make it as slippery as it can possibly be. And then it's your task as a class to cap it and end your plebe year. My class personally took, I think, 3.5 hours to get it up there. So it's definitely not an easy task. But it was a good time being out there with all my classmates, trying to end the suffering that is plebe year.
Is it only guys? I only see guys there. Are
No,
there
it's
females at the
everyone.
bottom?
Yeah, there's females in there. I think actually, might have been last year, a female was the one that placed the cover on top.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a full team effort.
Does anybody ever fall?
Yeah, there's always a couple injuries every year.
Oh no.
So I mean, this thing, it's pretty tall. I'd say around 25 feet.
That's tall.
Yeah, so it could do some damage if you took a fall from the top.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Is
Yeah.
there like a time record that someone's trying to beat?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the record is. It's less than an hour.
Okay.
Less than
Wow.
an hour.
Yeah.
They must be Spider-Man.
That was years ago though, so I don't know. Alright, so after Herndon's capped, you're kind of home free. Like I said, the past 2.5 years have really flown by for me. Everyone really finds their groove after plebe year, gets into the clubs and sports teams they want to be with, and it's honestly a really good time. So after you plebe, you become a midshipman third class, as you see here, and your main job is to mentor the plebes. As a plebe yourself, you would have had one of these third class helping you out along the way, giving you advice. So now it's your turn to do that for a plebe. After that, next year you'll be a second class, and this is when you turn into the plebe's worst enemy. It's your job to really train them, lead the morning workouts and new meal trainings, and really just hammer in those skills that you're going to need as an officer in training your sailors and Marines. And then this is also when you start thinking about service assignment, which is what your job is going to be after the Naval Academy. And then first class year, I'm currently a first class midshipman. It's really when you get to start leading the brigade. You'll be able to interview for different positions based on kind of what you want to do. My job right now is my company's physical mission officer, so I'm in charge of running workouts and really just maintaining like the high physical standard. And then the big thing at the bottom is you get to receive your service assignment. As you see down here, this guy got Marine Corps. As you can see from my shaved head, I got Marine Corps, and that was actually just last week, which is a big milestone for firsties.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Finally
Super.
deciding where they're going to be after graduation.
Super.
All right, so this is our daily schedule. Like I said, for the plebes mostly, you're going to be working out at 5:30 every morning. Always a tough wake up for me, but got to get it done. After you work out, you'll go to formation. Like I said, we'll sometimes have uniform inspections, room inspections as well, and you'll eat breakfast with the entire brigade. That's one of the unique things about our school is that we all eat at the same exact time. Our chow hall is huge. It's a sight to see. And then after breakfast, you'll have your first 4 academic periods. They last 50 minutes each, which I think is a good amount of time for each class. Following that, formation and lunch. During the warmer months, we'll do formation outside in front of Bancroft, pretty much. And yeah, it's a good time being out there. It's probably more fun to watch from the outside than it is to be in formation.
So in wintertime, you do the formation indoors?
Yes, we just do it with our companies indoors. And then after that, you have 2 more class periods. And then athletic period is a big one, starting at 1600 or 4 o'clock every day. It's a big thing at the Naval Academy. Pretty much everyone is part of a sports team, whether or not it's varsity, club, or just intramural. I'm personally part of the sprint football team. Navy is one of the only schools that has it in the nation, just football with a weight limit. So that kind of took up all my time after class up until dinner. And then dinner is kind of on your own. You get to go anytime between 6 and 7:30. And then after that, it's really into the books. I'll show you in a couple slides, but we have a pretty tough core curriculum of classes. So that academic study period is huge for everyone getting their work done. So yeah, it's all worth it. I mean, it seems like a lot of work, and it is. But I'll kind of dive into this in later slides, the summer training opportunities you have, and really just being around the academy throughout the whole year. You'll have a bunch of great opportunities. As you can see here, this is the president's personal osprey right there that just visited us on one random day. And then these photos are from different summer trainings that you'll be able to go on, not during the academic year. So here's all of our majors, in addition to our language minors. As you can see, we have a ton of different choices. I'm personally a quantitative economics major. It's just a fancy way to say economics, I guess. But as you can see here, we have lots of STEM majors, which is a big thing for our school. My roommates are both aerospace engineering majors. Really don't know how they do it. It's a lot of work for them. But yeah, as you can see, whatever you're interested in, we probably have it. So I kind of talked about this a little bit already. This is our core curriculum. So at the Naval Academy, whether or not you're an economics major, mechanical engineering, whatever it is, you're going to graduate with a Bachelor's of Science degree. And the reason for that is because you're going to be taking all of these required classes. All these empty boxes here are going to be filled up with your major classes, but every single one of these that isn't blank is a class that you're going to have to take. So up here we have kind of the more leadership and naval science related classes. And then in here we really see the STEM classes come into light, which is what works us towards the Bachelor's of Science degree. And yeah, as you can see, there's a whole slew of different classes that we have to take, that we're required to take, and it really just makes you into a well-rounded person, however troubling the classes may be. I personally never wanted to do electrical engineering, but I had to do it, got through it. Yeah.
So even an English major has to take Calculus 3 in electrical engineering?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do a lot of people have tutors?
Yeah, so that's actually a huge thing at the Academy. There's so many resources available to everyone at their disposal. We have the Academic Center for Excellence. There's walk-ins whenever you feel like you need some help, you can go in right there. In addition to that, we have midshipman-led study programs, which go pretty much every night of the week. You can apply to be a leader for those classes, and they go at, I think it's around 8 o'clock every night. So you just walk right into the classroom there. And yeah, really, there's help everywhere if you just seek it out. Lots of people tend not to seek that help out and kind of fall behind. I've personally taken full advantage of it. It's really helpful having those experts, really, in whatever course you need help in. So that was huge for me. All right, so this is the slide that all the parents love. Big thing about the Academy, full scholarship. Not a single dime coming out of your pocket. So tuition, room and board, medical and dental coverage, food, all of your uniforms, everything's free. That's a huge thing for people all across the country that really can't afford college and they want to come here. So it's a great opportunity. And then in addition to that, this slide's a little bit outdated, but midshipmen receive pay every month too. Starting as a plebe, I think it's $250 a month now. And as a first class, I'm making upwards of $800 a month. So better than nothing. Gets me through the month.
Super.
Yeah. All right, so kind of talked about the jobs after the Navy a little bit, and I'm going to kind of dive in depth into all the different options you have coming out of the Naval Academy. So this first one is surface warfare. Big slogan for the Navy is join the Navy, see the world. And surface warfare is the community that kind of exemplifies that. Every midshipman that selects surface warfare as their desired path after graduation, they get to choose where their ship's going to be based out of. So we have options ranging from Spain to Hawaii, Guam, San Diego, really anywhere you can imagine. And being a surface warfare officer has so many great opportunities to travel. Being forward deployed on a ship like this one down here, this is a DDG. You'll visit ports all throughout Asia. You can go through Europe, and the Mediterranean. The opportunities are endless if you want to really see the world. So this is a good community for you. All right, so submarine warfare. These guys are doing a lot of stuff right now, although many people don't know it. This is really the community that's doing the most top secret stuff. You know, whether or not it's off the shores of a different country or doing ballistic missile patrols, making sure no one's firing at us. They're doing a lot of cool stuff right now. Big thing with the submarine warfare community is that it takes a lot more extra training. So to be a submarine officer, you need to go through nuclear power school, which is tough to even be qualified for coming out of the academy. So the academics are very rigorous if you want to do this job. I would say it's probably well worth it given the missions that you'll be doing as a submarine officer. So this is a big one for the Navy. I'm sure you've seen Top Gun before. Tom Cruise was a naval aviator launching off the decks of carriers here. That's a huge part of Navy aviation, but we have different platforms as well. We have the Osprey here, which would be carrying cargo to and from shore, carrying Marines to and from shore as well. And then the helicopters over there as well. That takes up a big part of naval aviation, whether or not you're going to be on a ship or on land helping out. Another thing for naval aviation, lots of people think it's only pilots, the ones actually flying the plane, but we have naval flight officers as well. They're going to be in charge of targeting, taking care of the electronics equipment, and so on. So that's another huge job through naval aviation. And then this one, lots of people know about the Navy SEALs, but there's also another branch of special warfare you can do out of the Naval Academy, which is explosive ordnance disposal, basically putting out bombs. So yeah, if you're looking into being a SEAL or EOD technician, the Naval Academy is a great place to do it. Every year we graduate 30 people who are going to go train to become a Navy SEAL and about 15 for EOD. So yeah, if you're looking to be a leader in either of these communities, I'd say the Naval Academy is a great place for you. And then Marine Corps, my favorite one. Marine Corps is great. We have two different options for the Marine Corps. You can either be a ground contract, which is what I'll be doing, or an aviation contract as well. So all the platforms I just talked about with Navy, the Marine Corps pretty much has all of them as well. Right here, F-35, if you want to do some strike missions, you can do marine aviation right there. And then more on the ground for these two down here. Big thing with the Marine Corps ground contract is that there's 26 different jobs that you can do within the Marine Corps itself. So really you can find what your niche is, whatever you're interested in, and do it as a job, which also is super transferable to the real world too, if you decide to get out. So here's just a breakdown of where everyone's going for graduation. I think this slide was from a couple years ago, but the numbers remain relatively the same. So you can see aviation has the most, right about 27%, and then surface warfare right behind it. Every year, the Naval Academy graduates a quarter of its midshipmen to go to the Marine Corps. And then you can see here some of the more specialized services down here. Another big thing to note is that we do have some graduates going into the medical corps. So if you're looking to do that as a career path, this is a great way to do it.
How about if you're interested in the law? For example, ultimately becoming a judge?
Sure, yeah. So as you probably know, the Navy and Marine Corps too both have judge corps that are, they do a great job. Unfortunately, out of the Naval Academy, you can't service select that. However, I think it's something that's pretty transferable down the road, about say 4 to 5 years after you graduate. And I would say the Naval Academy does a great job of setting you up for that kind of job. I'll go back a couple slides here. Yeah, so I'm in this class right now, Law for the Junior Officer, and we're learning all about the military law right now. So it's a great base to build off of if that's the career path you want to do.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. So here's the admissions process. Are you interested in going to the Naval Academy?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice. What year are you right now in high school?
I'm a sophomore.
Okay, nice. Yeah, this slide is perfect for you. So right around junior year, you'll be doing your preliminary application.
Okay.
I'm honestly kind of far removed from that. I'm not sure what that entails. I don't think it was too much. But after that, you'll become an official candidate. And then there's 3 big things that you can really prepare for in here. Medically qualifying, can't really change your medical status, right? But the 3 big things are being a good candidate for the admissions board, physically qualified, your physical fitness, and then obtain a nomination from your congressman. So like I was talking about a little bit earlier, there's really 2 different parts to the admissions process. First, you have to get in to the academy itself, and then you also have to get a nomination from either a senator or congressman. And that's a whole other process in and of itself. You'll have to do interviews for that, write some papers. So yeah, it is a lot of work, but I would say it's well worth it if you're given the shot to get into the Naval Academy. So yeah, once you get all those 4 wickets, you're eligible to compete for employment, and then the Naval Academy will offer you one if you're a good candidate. So here's the big things that you can control right now. Sure.
Going back, what's the admissions board entail?
So that's basically just what the admissions department at school is looking at, like, for your candidate. So I'll kind of talk about it here.
Yep.
So yeah, it's kind of your whole packet as a person, right? So a big part of that is grades. We do not have a minimum GPA, but it's a good wicket to be in the top 20% of your class. And in addition to that, taking good classes that are challenging. School's looking for AP and honors courses, which you're probably already involved in if you're looking in the Naval Academy. And then going back to that core curriculum with all of our STEM-oriented classes, they're really looking for a lot of that in high school as well. Kind of building that foundation in STEM so that you're able to succeed at the Naval Academy. And then, yeah, being well-rounded as a person. This really entails being part of sports teams, clubs, whatever it may be, just something other than school that you can kind of devote some time to. That's something that the Naval Academy is looking for in every candidate. So I would tell you just kind of put your foot in a lot of doors so that you're well-rounded as a candidate. So here's the top reasons to go to Navy. Like I said, full scholarship. Not paying for college is huge for my parents and for me as well. So that's a big part of it. Number 2, guaranteed employment. Talked about all the different warfare communities you can join after the Navy. Every single one is awesome. The opportunities you'll get to lead Marines and sailors in combat maybe one day are endless. And then number 3, location. I don't think anyone's been to Annapolis before, but I would tell you it's a great place. I love it. It's kind of just like Red Bank, surrounded by water, tiny town.
Is it pretty safe?
Yes, very safe, very safe. Location's great. We're about 45 minutes from DC and around 35 from Baltimore as well. So just going out on the weekends, you have a lot of fun stuff to do.
Good.
And then last but not least, probably the most important part of going to Navy is the leadership and character development you get. I can truthfully say I'm definitely not the same person I was 4 years ago when I was in high school. And a big reason for that is because of the Naval Academy, everything I've went through throughout my 4 years.
How much time do you owe the Navy after you graduate from the academy?
Yeah, so it's 5 years.
Good.
Well, most of the warfare communities are 5 years. If you do go naval aviation, it's 8 years after you graduate flight school. And that's just because they're investing so much money in you to become a pilot or flight officer, that requirement is a little bit more.
So when you say flight school, is that like going to more school after you're done with the first part of it?
Yeah, so Naval Academy is just the first step. If you want to be a flight officer, you'll go down to Pensacola, Florida for, it's about a year and a half to 2 years of training, where you're actually getting hands-on experience with the flight platforms. It's a pretty tough curriculum down there in Florida, but lots of people have done it. And yeah, it is a lot more schooling, but I mean, flying a Navy jet is awesome. So.
Is it sort of the same with the medical or the submarine section where they invest more time in you, you owe them more time?
So for those two, I can't really speak on medical. I'm not sure what the process is for that.
Yeah.
For submarines though, that's not the case. Your 5 years start as soon as you graduate. And that's another perk of the submarine community. You'll go through the nuclear power school after you graduate from the academy. And that really sets you up for doing well in the civilian world as well. And only with that 5-year commitment, which is huge to kind of transfer into a regular job. Yeah, and also the pay is better for submarines too. So it's a good gig. All right, so this kind of overview of my summer training experiences. As you can see in these two pictures, I was out in California hanging out at the Marine Corps Mountain Warfare Training Center. So we were hanging out with Marine Scout snipers and reconnaissance guys. Those 2 weeks out there were awesome. We just hiked pretty much every day, pretended to shoot things in the mountains, and it was just so much fun hanging out with the enlisted Marines. This picture right here is me and my two best friends. We actually met right at the start of Thebes summer, and yeah, still love them today. This picture is from ring dance. I'll show you my ring. Pass it around. So it's a Naval Academy tradition for us to all get these class rings, and then we have a big party at the end of our junior year to celebrate us getting the rings. And then last but not least, this picture down here on the sea kayak. I got to go to Papua New Guinea this past summer as a part of Naval Academy training. We were able to sea kayak from island to island, hanging out with the local people and really embracing their culture. The Naval Academy has so many different programs where you can travel internationally if you want. Like I said, this one was during the summer. We have, I think, about 20 to 30 every year during the summer where you get to go international. And then in addition to that, we have full semesters where you can go abroad and study at different military academies or civilian universities as well. I have a couple of friends that went to South Africa, a couple in Australia right now. So if you seek out the opportunities, they're there. So, and that's it.